There are people who are in this system who are not there for the best child's interest.
Lately, many people across the state say they're seeing those issues within Oklahoma's Department of Human Services and the foster care system.
We are throwing more money at something but not actually addressing the real issue.
Then there are those who can agree that not every foster parent or child protective service worker is bad.
It's a dangerous job. It's a scary job. It's a job where you don't forget what happens in the day. It's a job that causes nightmares.
But allegations of children in foster care not being treated well are now getting attention. And that's due to this viral video showing a foster child outside during February's winter storm in just pajamas, screaming that she's cold. In 2023, according to the Child Welfare League of America, more than 500,000 children were confirmed victims of abuse or neglect. In Oklahoma, a U.S. Department of Health and Human Service child welfare report showed that 4 years ago, a little over 1% of the children in the Oklahoma's foster care system reported receiving poor care. This is not the first discussion had about how to make DHS better. In fact, in 2023, Governor Kevin Stitt put together the Child Welfare Task Force. The 12-member panel is responsible for reducing the time children spend in the foster care system, decreasing reentry for foster care children who are discharged, identifying risk factors leading to child removal from homes, and helping biological parents regain or maintain custody of their kids.
Sadly, it happens in foster care. I don't know if there's 100 ways to fix things, but I think honestly is sharing and shedding light on those situations and then having real discussions on how to prevent those.
Stokes hopes this moment brings stakeholders to the table for serious conversations on how to better care for children who have already endured trauma. And that starts with something critical.
Step back as a state and bring people to the table, all different types of people who have been frustrated with the system. You know, parents who have had their children taken away, foster parents who have seen abuse occurring and don't think that child is ready for reunification, CASA workers, group home providers, you know, residential treatment providers, lawmakers, but really listen to each other's experiences without offense and say, hey, we might be missing the ball here sometimes.
Stokes says there's no universal way to care for kids suffering from family trauma, but the first step is making sure DHS and foster homes are more intentional and transparent about placing kids where they can succeed.
These are kids who are survivors of some of the most heinous abuse, but then there are also kids that sometimes just their parents have never got the support that they needed in order to succeed. And really, as a state, we need to say, how can we equip the agency that is supporting them, but also have accountability with funds and metrics to see that data is actually showing proof that these kids are not just going to qualified residential treatment programs and aging out and then going back into a homeless situation or into incarceration.
When it comes to transparency, Stokes says more is needed, starting with how the state defines success. Is it by how many kids age out of the system? How many earn diplomas? How quickly families are reunited? She says that's unclear and resources for aging out youth are limited.
Not be anxious about getting older. You know, I mean, truly, when we didn't have a plan, and one of the girls was reaching that time and she goes, Miss Brittany, like, I don't want to go back to the people that I was taken from, but then I'm just homeless. And that's reality. How do you heal when that is your reality? How do you feel safe when that is your reality? How do you try to have hope when that is your reality? And so we had to do something about that. And I think this helps.
To help fill that gap, Tulsa Girls Home with donor support is building a bridge to independence. Right behind their main facility in Jinx, 2 townhomes are complete with 2 more on the way. They're for girls who've aged out of foster care and who are working full-time in school or both. The girls pay rent, but that rent is saved for them to use when they move out on their own.
It's also necessary across the board for our state to look at how can we help that transition and even funding in those areas. You know, transitional living programs, they don't often get state funding. This doesn't get state funding, you know, but where would they go if not?